pressure because we know Steve is looking down on all of us. Steve never liked me very much. Partly I was an in-law. That wasn't a big one. I went to USC. He didn't like USC people. Now, the second thing that makes me very nervous is I am terrified, and if you know her, you know why. I'm terrified of Nancy. She has said, tighten this thing up, Greg, and then she gave me an impossible task that I will not be able to conquer. Keep control of Larry. Can't be done. But everybody's going to have stories, and I just wanted to say that okay, here we go. Somebody told me a long time ago that, you look on a tombstone, it has the birth and the death. And all there is in the middle is a hyphen or a dash. And that represents somebody's entire life, their experiences, their successes, their failures, their emotions, the people in their life. You said, how do you tell what kind of life they live? And how full was that hyphen? Well, I'm here to tell you that Steve filled that hyphen to overflowing. He had a fabulous, full, wonderful life that he shared with hundreds, if not thousands of people. But, he was like everybody, a family growing up with his siblings and parents. He got into sports early. He was very good, obviously. And his football was his life. He played and he coached. And he was great at both of them. He went to UCLA, which was a huge part of his life. I don't understand why people like that place. Then as he was getting out of there and finishing he met the wonderful Nancy. So Nancy, then there was, she and Nancy, Hermosa Beach, Mexico, and Sundown. You can wrap up all their fun in those three places. And then the dogs. The two of them raised over 8,000 dogs in their house. And then finally, his great love of golf that he enjoyed so much at Virginia Country Club, and I know he's well represented here with that. I could go into some stories, but Hermosa was fun, sun, volleyball, rummy tiles, La Paz, and Hercules. There's a lot of drinking going on there. But of all those things that Steve did, the best role he ever played was friend. He was a friend to everybody. If you got to know Steve and you didn't like him, there was something wrong with you. If Steve got to know you and he didn't like you, there was definitely something wrong with you. Steve was so easy to be around, easy manner, easy laugh. A relationship with Steve was totally effortless. And he knew how to have a good time. Fishing, skiing, drinking, playing cards, doesn't matter. He had 1 million friends and 1 billion experiences with them. He was not only a great player, but a great coach. And this is a personal observation. I hated those UCLA teams, but I had to admire them. I was screaming and yelling for them when they played Michigan State in the Rose Bowl. They were the gutty little Bruins. But more than anything, I watched Steve and his friends over all those years. There was a chemistry with that friendship and that team that doesn't get recreated very often. He was a wonderful teammate. Fellow coaches loved working with him, and as he did with the players. But everything Steve touched, he was successful in that arena, and he was the common denominator. He was a great teammate, and people were drawn to him, even though he was a quiet guy. On a personal note, Sun Valley is a big part of our life, my family's life, in the Butgolas. We probably spent every Christmas together for the better part of 3 decades. Our kids grew up. My daughter would have her birthday at the Warm Springs Ranch every December 19th. Steve and Nancy were almost always there. And my kids, when they were little, all the way to to the end gave him a lot of shit. And he just lapped it up and fired it back.